Hey, this is Teddy Burris, your LinkedIn coach and trainer. And thank you for letting me jump in and share some ideas with you today around the use of LinkedIn, but more specifically around a very purposeful set of activities that I think can create huge value for us. Not too long ago, I had a conversation with a business owner who is working on an application to help people who need help to be able to listen to these words, present their character and their competence online. I listened to those words when he and I were talking, and he really had me intrigued because I think it's really important not just to share content and engage and get into conversations, et cetera, but to always be thinking about how am I presenting my true character and my competence in what I do online. Now again, this guy's on a mission to build an app, and I really wish him all the best. I think he's on to something specifically for people who don't have the ability to do this themselves, similar to the way that some of us who are highly active in social media are able to do. So I started thinking about it and listening to the conversation with him, and I started asking myself these questions. I thought about, am I presenting my true character, and am I presenting my true competence online? Now, I'm asking myself this question, but please feel free to fire me off a message and let me know your opinion, because it's important for me to hear other people's opinions in lots of different contexts around me, including, am I presenting my true character, and am I presenting my competence appropriately online? So then it moves me to this next question, and that is this: How am I presenting my character online? Now, I strive to be pretty purposeful about my public words, my public comments, posts, content, engagement, articles, videos, interviews, all of that stuff. I try to be very purposeful about that and try to keep it very consistent with the real Teddy. Now, the real Teddy is well, you know who he is. It's how I present myself online. I don't want to tell you anything different than that, because really I am Teddy Burris 24/7 for the most part. Okay? So then I also think about this, and that is that I studied a bunch of dead people: Dale Carnegie, Vincent Peale, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and I learned some of their philosophies, and they directly influence the way I think and the way I talk, to the extent that not too long ago I remember criticizing a lady on social media, which I never do, and I was going to say almost, but I never do that. I actually sent her a message back and apologized to her for my behavior. Now, she accepted my apology, and when we moved on. But think about that. I never criticize, condemn, or complain on social, and I had to apologize because I made a mistake. In the context of this conversation, I then moved on and said, okay, how well am I presenting my competence online? My ability, my skills, my talents, my expertise. Now, I spend a lot of time creating content, curating content, and sharing that online in lots of relevant and appropriate spaces. It's a huge part of my business for me to create and curate content. And I really try hard to be consistent in my messaging, in my words, in the context of who I am and what I do, predominantly as a LinkedIn trainer, but also as a leadership coach and a career coach. Most of what you will find about me and from me will be about me as a LinkedIn trainer or LinkedIn coach. But I really try very deliberately and purposefully to make sure that when I am creating content and or sharing and engaging on content, that I'm presenting that I know what I'm talking about, otherwise I don't post it, so that I can build my brand. And I really believe that's a form of sharing and presenting my competence. Now, I regularly will run into someone, at least a few times a week, either in real life or via social media, who will say to me, I was introduced to you by X. And often that person will say to me that when this person, Tom, Dick, or Harry, or whoever it is, introduced me to that person, they said, Teddy is the guy you need to talk to. And then sometimes they'll use these words, and I feel honored that they use these words. They'll say, you'll love Teddy. He's a great person. And I truly am honored to hear that. And when I hear that I get when I see that I get introduced to others, often from people I've never met in real life or even have talked to in real life, and when I get introduced to these people, first of all, I will repeat, I feel honored that happened. Secondly, it sort of validates that what I am doing is helping to present my true character and my competence on social media. Not that I don't have room to grow. I always have room to grow. But I think that I'm doing pretty decent and, again, have opportunities to improve that. So then I ask myself, so where am I presenting myself? Am I presenting my competence and my character in the right places? Now, I am really active on LinkedIn, very active on YouTube, fairly active on Twitter, very active on Facebook and Instagram. Quora.com, I'm hugely active on there. I use Slack, I use Eventbrite, I use Meetup. So I'm on lots of different places, and all of these places I stay consistent to the presentation of who Teddy is, character, and I am very consistent to the conversations I get into and what I will talk about, competence. So I'm on a lot of places. There are probably a few that I don't need to be on anymore, so that I get the opportunity to distribute the presentation of my character and my competence to lots of different people. Because fool be me for telling you that you have to go find me on wherever I want you to find me. I want you to find me where it's relevant to you, but also relevant to me. Okay? So then there's another area of presenting and introducing the true character of Teddy and my true competence. And that's in real life networking, IRL, in real life networking. Now, I'm a huge advocate, fan of being publicly present, showing up in the right places. So you'll find me at networking events and chamber events, and you'll find me at associations and organizations. You'll find me at coffee shops. You will find me at a local watering hole. But you're not going to find me in the places I shouldn't be. You're not going to find me in places that does not support my character. Maybe it contradicts my character. And I don't need to tell you where those places are. And you're not going to find me in places or involved in conversations publicly that are not true to my competence. I'm never going to show up in a public space and pretend to be a lawyer or thoracic surgeon. I'm Teddy Burris, LinkedIn coach and trainer. And you'll find me in places where you would expect to find that type of professional. So this idea, these conversations that came about with me that made me start thinking, I decided to share them with you, then to ask you to ask yourself these questions. How well are you presenting your character and your competence online? Do you feel that you're doing well? Maybe you need some help. I don't want to pretend I can help you, but maybe a conversation might help. Maybe meeting other people who have the ability to help you would be beneficial as well. Now, if you ask yourself this question, how well am I presenting my character and my competence? Then the next question might be, maybe I need to ask my network if I'm doing a decent job of that. See what they say. But this is important to think about. It's not all about just about branding. As this gentleman introduced me to this idea, it's also about letting people discover the real you, character, and your real ability, competence. This is a great question for me to ask myself. I hope it's a great question for you to ask yourself. I'm Teddy Burris, your LinkedIn coach and trainer. I appreciate you letting me share and poke you and make you think.